Hi everyone, this is Jenny and this video is going to be something different because today we are doing something together. Usually we do in private, and that is judge people. But we're not going to just judge any people. We're going to judge people who directly and specifically ask for it, because today we are going to have a look at the Reddit section, Am I the Asshole? Watches edition. So let's get started. Right, and I know I'm in a very different setup today. This is my streaming setup where I'm usually streaming from, but we moved house, so I had to improvise. So if it works out, it works out. If not, it's fine. But today we're going to try it in this setup. So a quick little explanation to what this is going to be. So there are people who are posting their stories to Reddit, and then they ask basically everyone else on the internet if they are the asshole in a situation or not. And yeah, we have permission to judge today, and we're going to start right away with the first story that I've picked out. So the headline goes, Am I the asshole for letting my 18-month-old son play with my husband's watch that was given to him by his late grandfather, and saying it wasn't a big deal when he dropped it? Already lots of information in the title. So, my husband almost always wears a watch, much to the delight of our son, who loves playing / chewing them. Oh, that's bad. Usually if my husband is holding him and wearing a watch, he gets fussy for the watch. My husband will just take it off and let him play with it. Our son has damaged 2 of his watches in the past, and my husband wasn't fazed by it. Wow, that is a track record. So my husband left his watch on the table, which is somewhere our son could grab it from, which he did the minute he noticed the watch. Okay, so sounds a lot like your husband is just leaving him out on purpose. He was playing with it, and my husband's cousin told me I should not let him since he could damage it, and my husband's late grandfather had given him that watch. I guess the cousin is from the dad side of the family, I assume. I told her it was fine, but my husband's cousin kept trying to it's the husband's cousin, kept trying to convince me to take the watch from him. Eventually my son dropped the watch. Oh no. And my husband's cousin freaked out, which made my son cry. I got upset with her, and I told her it wasn't a big deal and to calm down since she was scaring him. Supposed to say scaring him, I guess. She got angry with me, and told me I should have more respect for my husband's things and his family. My husband ended up coming back in the room because he heard our son crying and had to de-escalate the situation. But his cousin was still clearly mad at me by the time she left. Difficult. I guess you are not really the asshole, but I can totally understand your husband's cousin, because if I would see that someone was playing with a family heirloom in that way, I would get mad too. I mean, your baby can do whatever it wants with your watches, but I guess if it's a family item, I think, maybe I would have said something too if I would see some baby in my family play with. I mean, I have a watch from my grandpa. He gave it to me, and if I saw this watch, if it was given to someone else, which is fine, but then being played with by a baby, I would be upset too, I gotta say. But still, since your husband is fine with it, I guess you're not the asshole. Let me know in the comments what you think. This one is a tricky one. It's weird. As a watch person myself, I simply would not give my watch to a child. I'm gonna be real here, because they can break stuff, and that's fine, they're children, but that's why I don't give them my watches. Oh, and by the way, if we're talking about watches already, quick wristwatch check, because you guys have been asking for this. Today, I'm wearing my Seiko Tank. Love this one. Perfect for summer. Anyway, so yeah, I would say not the asshole, but you're definitely a weird person, a weird family. Come at me in the comments for saying this, but no 2 watches and children. Right, next one. It's a bit more of a lengthy one, and the title says, Am I the asshole for buying and wearing my luxury watches when hanging out with my girlfriend and her friends? I'm 30 male, same as me. Not the male part, just the 30 part. And my girlfriend is 26 female. Ever since I was in college, I grew a fascination for watches. I didn't make much money while in college, so I would spend money on watches around the 20 to 100 range at most. That's that's quite all right. Once I graduated in computer science, I got a nice job offer, so I decided to spend my first couple paychecks on a nicer watch, $4,000 range. Yes, I can very much relate to that feeling. I met my girlfriend and started dating her quickly around when I was 27. Oh, yeah, they've been together for quite some time. She is a social worker, so she is making around 40K a year, I would say. I'm making around 130. That is a gap. We decided to move in with each other and we rent an apartment together. We split the bills evenly for rent. That's nice. Place is not expensive, but I do generally pay for all our meals outside and do spend on random things like vacations for both of us since I do make more. That is very nice of you. Here's our recent problem. Oh, now we get to the nitty-gritty part. I have wanted a watch that is generally around the 12 to 15K range. Oh, what would that be? Is it probably a Rolex? Maybe. Since I started working, when I mentioned it to my girlfriend a couple of months back, she thought it was silly to spend so much. I mean, I get it. Lots of people outside of the hobby are very, very critical of it, which I can understand. Anyways, I ultimately decided to buy the watch 2 weeks ago. Oh, congratulations. I was so happy when I got it, so I wore it and kept it on for several days. Oh, the honeymoon phase. We hung out at a friend's place and had a barbecue with 10 people. We all wore masks and social distance. Okay, good for you. A friend of hers noticed my watch and got super annoying and judgmental for me buying the watch. I don't like that. Okay, it's a Rolex. Everyone knows the name and I think they are super expensive. I mean, to be fair, they are super expensive. They asked how much it was and my girlfriend said it's over 10K. A couple of her friends really seemed concerned that I just blew that much money on a watch. I made the mistake of blurting out that I have several more cheaper watches in the 5K. Oh no! In the 5K range after one of her friends asked my girlfriend why she would allow me to spend so much. Boy, red flag. Once we got home, my girlfriend started crying and screaming at me for embarrassing her at her friend's place and asked me why I wore my watch there. I was confused. She said that everyone there makes around as much as her and obviously wearing such an expensive watch around them was tacky and snobbiness. I told her I disagree. I worked hard for where I'm at and this watch to me symbolizes the effort I put in. It's personal for me. I don't go around telling everyone about my watch. I ask her what was the difference since one of her friends was engaged and had a diamond ring on. My girlfriend had no answer and now we have not spoken for 2 days. So am I the asshole here? Okay, so there are layers in this. But first of all, so many red flags as well, in my opinion. So I think it's very nice that you pay for a lot of like meals, like you said, outside and vacations. That's very generous. And yeah, it's very nice. And I can totally relate how one wants to, just celebrate certain milestones in their life with the watch. I did that. I think lots of people watching this right now did that too. And yeah, of course you're going to wear it out and about because you're happy, you're proud of it, which you should be. What I like, the first major red flag to me is her friends saying how she could allow you to spend that much money, which is crazy because you stated earlier you share rent, so it's not like you're paying towards a property or like a mortgage where maybe you should be discussing bigger purchases beforehand, but like not in a sense that you would ask for permission, just to be like giving the other person a heads up and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to spend this amount of money. I know we're paying towards a mortgage. Is that cool? Like, just talk about it. But like blurting out like, hey, how could you allow him to do this? That's crazy. And I mean, yeah, I get that you were trying to justify yourself saying that you've got cheaper ones in the 5K range, but I guess that didn't really help you much there. But yeah, I get the justification urge, so to say. And then what did you say once we got home? She started crying and screaming for embarrassing her. That's insane. I'm sorry. She seems like a very insecure person and probably very self-aware about that you earn a lot more than she does. But no, that's a red flag. It seems like she is not feeling very good about herself and just looking for a way to air her grievances about you and just blaming the watch situation for it. I don't know. I don't think you're the asshole. I get that there's always a time and place of wearing certain watches, even though, at the end of the day, life is short. We could just, all drop that tomorrow. So just wear that watch. But yeah, time and place sometimes. But I think in this situation, you're totally fine. I would have done the same thing myself, I guess. I would say you're not the asshole. Leave a comment in the section down below if you disagree or agree with me on this one. But why would she be so judgmental? I don't get it. Anyways, let's skip to story number 3. And the title says, am I the asshole for not fixing my boyfriend's watch that I can't afford to fix and breaking his trust? Oh, so you did break his watch and his trust. Interesting. Okay, to start, I'm in college and 22 female. My boyfriend never went to college. He just turned 21 now. His family has a lot of money while mine didn't, so he doesn't really have to go to college. Oh, I don't get that. Why don't you have to go to college if you've got a lot of money? But I do because my family is middle class and can't afford to give me an allowance my whole life. Oh, is that a thing where they come from? Getting an allowance your whole life? Wow. Sounds nice. Money side for me is what I'm trying to say. Okay, get it. 2 weeks ago, my boyfriend was going to go out of the country with some friends and needed me to see if his passport was in the safe while he was out doing something. So he told me the code and I looked. He has an expensive watch collection. Ooh-wee. And he never really lets me take pictures of them or look at them. So while I was looking for the passport, I took out one of the watches, the most expensive one, lucky me, oh my gosh. And I accidentally dropped it on the hard floor in our closet and the glass broke from it hitting it wrong. Oh, Jesus Christ. I started crying and I called my sister and asked her what to do. And she said to just leave it and tell him later. So I put it back into a box and back into the safe. Oh my gosh. First of all, that's insane. Why would you first call your sister and then just put it back? Let me just say this right now. Listen, if you drop your watch and the crystal breaks or anything breaks and you see that, do not just put it back and hope for the best. Obviously, pull out the crown, make the watch stop so it doesn't damage the movement or anything else further, and then just call your watchmaker or your AD and have it fixed ASAP. But wow, also, can I just say, having her say that he never really lets me take pictures of them or look at them, that is suspicious. So there's probably some history that she wanted to handle his watches and he said no, maybe, obviously for a good reason. And then, oh my gosh, yeah, called her sister, cried. Sister says, put it back. And she does that. Oh my God. Right. Okay. It continues. He got back from his trip a week ago. A few days went by. Oh no. And he took out the watch and saw that it was broken and said, what the fuck happened to my watch? Oh, imagine you're coming back from a trip. And you probably took a watch with you that's not too expensive, travel watch. And you want to go back to your watch collection and get out your baby, your most expensive one. And then you just see that it's completely broken. I told him what happened. He was pissed that I touched his stuff, without permission, etc. Told me that the watch was 1 out of 30 ever made and said that I would have to pay to get it repaired. Oh no, it was a limited edition. He says it's going to cost around $2,500 at least and maybe a little bit more. I mean, yeah, probably. I don't know. Limited edition, his most expensive watch, $2,500. What could it be? I would be very interested to know. Further continues by saying, I can't afford that all and he knows that. $2,500 is nothing to him. I told him there's no way that I can afford it. He started going on saying that pieces of the crystal can get inside the movement, and ruin the watch and that I will be lucky if it's just a crystal that's broken. He started crying and he just left. Took his watch box and watch and said goodbye. Now he isn't answering my FaceTimes and he has been gone for 3 days now and has not come back for anything or tried to talk to me. Very mature of him to just, grab his stuff and is like, goodbye. Am I the asshole for this? My sister doesn't think so because he can't afford to fix it on his own. And I was just looking, not trying to show it to someone else that he doesn't know. But I really feel like I can't really help it because I can't afford to do this as much as I want to fix it for him. Okay, so the last segment totally gave away that you are indeed the asshole, if I might say so, because she goes on to say that the $2,500 is nothing to him, as if that doesn't even matter. It is your responsibility. You should take responsibility for the stuff you break. And wow, hats off to this guy for taking the high road and not freaking out and just taking his stuff and then goodbye. Because this lady, there's something that she's not telling, because she then goes on to say, I was just looking, not trying to show it to someone else that he doesn't know. Seems like to me, his girlfriend wanted to do the bit of flexing with his watches, which to each their own, whatever. But it's not your stuff. And even though he specifically said, don't touch it, please. Oh, I don't know if he added the please or not. You did that. You took it out. And you did God knows what, that you just dropped it and it broke. Such an unlucky situation. I feel very sorry for the guy. And I mean, if I were to come home and see that my candy pink is broken, I would cry as well. I would freak out. Like, what the hell? Don't touch his stuff. He told you and you did not listen. Then you didn't even tell him right away. He came back and then you waited a couple of days for him to find out, which I find even worse, if I'm being honest. It's a mess. It is a mess. So many red flags. Definitely, in my opinion, you are the asshole in this situation. That is so ridiculous. Yeah. Let me know in the comments again what you guys think is story number 3 a yes or a no in terms of, is that person the asshole? That makes me feel stressed out just listening to this. Anyways, that is it. We got 3 stories down. If that is something you enjoy watching and listening to, let me know in the comments down below and we can, dig out some more stories. If you feel brave enough, leave your am I the asshole story in the comment section down below and then we can see if you're the asshole or not. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch more videos like this or watch reviews, I recommend subscribing to my channel. So then I will see you in my next video. Bye.